Hey, and welcome back to the channel. So excited to talk to you. I don't know why I'm excited to talk to you about this tonight. So last week we talked about the best weight loss advice that I've ever been given. And I shared with you the 6 best piece of advice that I've ever been given in weight loss. And so this week we're going to be talking about the worst advice that I've ever been given when it comes to weight loss. And as somebody who's been in the weight loss industry now since 2014, so over a decade, someone who's lost 161 pounds, I've heard so much advice, so many opinions, so many things to do, things not to do when it comes to weight loss. And I will link down below last week's episode if you missed it. I literally laid out out of the thousands of pieces of advice that I've gotten, the top 6, my top 6 pieces of advice. And tonight we're going to be talking about the worst advice for me when it comes to weight loss. So let's go ahead and jump in. If you are brand new here, welcome. If you haven't, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, and you'll be the first one to get alerted when we have inspirational interviews, announcements coming up, recipes, all the things. And so 6 worst advice. And this was probably, listen, these are not in any particular order. And if you tell people this, that's okay. This is my worst advice and this is my video. So it is what it is. And I'm going to be honest with you. So the worst one, and I have this one, I probably should have not started with this one, but it is what it is. Don't eat carbs. This was, I have heard this so much when it comes to losing weight. Just cut out all the carbs. Don't eat any carbs. Don't eat any bread. Don't eat any rice. Don't eat any potatoes. Don't eat any carbs. They're the devil. And for years, I would go through seasons back before it was keto, when it was Atkins. That's how, yes, I'm old enough to know what the Atkins diet was, which was very similar to keto. You would eat a lot of protein and fat, and you would cut out carbs. And I did that, and I would lose weight. And then, of course, I would eventually eat carbs again and gain all the weight back. And now, of course, it's called keto and it's a whole new thing and all the things. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm a firm believer in balance, and I don't think you have to cut out any food groups to lose weight. I think carbohydrates in the right quantities are super beneficial to brain health. They're beneficial to your energy levels, and they're beneficial to long-term sustainability of your weight loss. Because if you're going to do something to go lose 20 pounds, you want to keep it off. You don't want to just lose it and then go find it again and, continue on the hamster wheel of weight loss where you lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it. No, you want to lose it and have it stay gone. And so I would tell you, don't cut out any food groups, fat, protein, carbs. You need all of them. Of course, you don't want to have a whole diet of carbs. That's not what I'm saying. But carbs in the right quantities are super duper beneficial to your health. That's what I'm going to say. So one of the worst pieces of advice ever given was don't eat carbs. They're the devil. You can't lose weight. Listen, I lost 161 pounds eating carbohydrates every single day. Every single day I ate carbs. I still eat carbs. I went from a size 22 down to a size 2 eating carbs. Okay, that was not very mature. All right, number 2. Eat, one of the worst pieces of advice ever given was you have to eat every hour or every 2 hours. Eat every hour or every 2 hours. And what I will tell you is there was a time where I had all these little mini meals and I was eating 8 times a day, and long term, that was not beneficial. It caused me to eat more. It actually caused me to not lose weight. I know there's a lot of people that do this, but furthermore, it actually can cause your insulin levels to spike. It can cause a lot of issues hormonally and stuff like that. And so you don't have to be eating every hour. Your body actually does good by having periods that you're not eating. And so one of the things I do is I have 12 hours I get all my food in within a 12-hour, for me, it's actually a 10-hour window. But my clients, I tell them a 12-hour window. They have 12 hours of not eating. And inside of those 12 hours, they're literally only having 3 meals and 2 snacks. And so they're eating, sometimes there's about 4 hours in between when they're eating, which is really good for your body. And what are they doing in between there? They're drinking water and all the things. So Third worst piece of advice that I've ever been given is work really hard during the week and take the weekends off. So have a cheat weekend, have a cheat day, like go eat all the crap you want to eat during the weekend. Who cares? You've been good this week. Just take the day and just either, whether it's Saturday, Sunday. I've had people actually tell me take a whole cheat day or a whole cheat weekend and eat all the things. And guess what? I tried it. And maybe that works for people who were never fluffy. But I just got to tell you, the amount of food that I can eat over a weekend is so much. Like, I can lose 2 to 3 pounds during the week. And then maybe I'm just really good at eating junk food because I can go gain not only the 2 or 3 pounds that I lost, but then another 1 or 2. Like, that's how good I am at eating junk food. And listen, if someone's never been fluffy and they're not, they don't have the junk food eating skills that I have. I'm not proud of that, by the way. Then maybe that works for them. But it is some of the worst advice I've ever been given. Like, no, it's all about balance. And so I do not recommend having a cheat day. I don't recommend eating anything you want in a whole weekend. I don't think that is healthy, first and foremost. I don't think it's a long-term sustainable weight loss plan. I don't think it's healthy behavior. I just think it's really bad advice. And so I would tell you to not do that. Not do that. All right. Fourth worst piece of advice ever given was never weigh yourself. Just, intuitively see how you feel and all the things. But the thing is, like, I can convince myself at any weight that I feel okay. Like, I could convince myself at 288 pounds that even though I was overweight, I was healthy. Or even though I was overweight, I was smaller than most anybody else who weighed 288 pounds because, I used to be an athlete and I have muscle. Like, we have this thing called self-censorship, and we can really censor things and convince ourselves of things. And not weighing yourself, like, weighing yourself is data. It tells you if what you're doing to lose weight is working or not. And so if your goal is to be healthier and lose weight, the scale is the data that tells you if it's working or not. And so don't ever weigh yourself. I think that's horrible advice for somebody who's trying to lose weight and get healthy. Number 5, this one, if it is healthy, it doesn't matter how much you eat. If it's healthy, it doesn't matter how much you eat. And I don't think, there's another thing that says healthy fat. It's the whole thing of healthy fats are healthy. Okay, I'll give you an example of what I mean. So I hear people all the time, like, nuts in our house. We have nuts, but when we have nuts, we look at the serving size. And I will hear people tell me, yeah, but it's a good fat. Or same thing with avocado. Avocado is very high in calories, just like nuts, just like dates, right? And so I'll hear people say, yeah, but it's a healthy fat. It doesn't matter if it's a healthy fat or not. It's a lot of calories. And if you eat too many nuts, you're going to be unhealthy. If you eat too many avocado, it's a lot of calories. If you eat too much guacamole, which is my favorite way to eat avocado, put some lime juice and some cumin and some salt and some pepper and some tomatoes and some purple onion, and you chop it all up in the avocado, and it's the best. It's the best guacamole ever. But if I eat a whole bowl of guacamole, yes, it's a healthy fat, but it's going to make me fat. Have you ever seen people that eat really good and they're overweight? It's because you can't eat too much of a good thing. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean you can just eat it in any quantities. If I eat a whole container of nuts, yes, it's a healthy fat, but same thing with dates. I used to have a girlfriend and she knew dates were healthy, so she'd buy a whole container of dates and she'd eat the whole container of dates. And I'm like, do you know how many calories you just ate? And at the end of the day, when you eat too many calories, you gain weight. It is really just that simple. Anyway, yeah. So that was a horrible piece of advice. Number 6, worst piece of advice that I've ever been given was to find the diet that fit me. And why that was such a bad piece of advice is because it sent me into over a decade of thinking that there was going to be the perfect diet for me out there. And then if I just found the right diet that allowed me to eat cheesecake every day, then I'd lose the weight. Or if I found the right diet that just allowed me to do this, then I would lose the weight. And ultimately, I had to come to the realization after chasing after the right diet forever that there was no such thing as the right diet. There was no such thing as the perfect weight loss plan. It was just me picking something, committing to it, and doing it. That's what it was. It wasn't about finding the right plan. It was about me doing the right activity and being the right person. That's what it was about. And I really, that whole find the right diet, find the right program, I spent years chasing that. And it turned out to be false. And so don't look for the right program. There's never going to be, listen, when we're fluffy, the perfect program would be we can still eat all the crap and lose weight. That doesn't exist. That's called a fantasy, right? If we eat all the junk, we're going to be unhealthy. The only way we end up losing weight is by cutting out the junk and eating healthier things, choosing healthier options, lowering our calorie intake, right? And so the sooner I came to that realization that no, I just have to pick something that works and commit to it. And that's what I did. I never found the right diet. I never found the right program. I found one that combined diet and exercise, which at the time I didn't like, but it gave good results. And I was like, all right, fine, I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit to this. It wasn't right. It wasn't right for me. It wasn't created for me. It had me doing the things that I didn't like, eating vegetables without butter, drinking a shake, and exercising. But it kicked out the results that I wanted. And so those are my top 6 worst pieces of advice given. I would love to hear yours down below in the comments. What is the worst advice you've ever been given when it comes to weight loss? I would love to hear. And so we will be back next week, same time, same place, with more weight loss tips to help you on your journey. And we are always stronger together. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our community. And we will see you next week, same time, same place.